God, I fucking love Twisted Tea, and I'm fucking
Yeah,
I feel like a fucking spokesperson now because I started drinking this shit before the shit,
Before
before the
the
fucking
meme.
shit. I remember when I had them in my fridge at all times. I was like, all about that fucking. I have it because I liked it. I'm a big fan of like iced tea and shit. So I saw it come out and I was like, okay, I'll try a couple brands. I think I tried another one, and I'm like, dude. I finally hit this one and it's fucking right on the number. I was like, this is the shit. I got to drink this shit all the time. And now I'm hooked on Phonics, bro. Like, it's just, I have to have it.
Yeah.
And then when that meme came out, or that video came out of that fucking white dude getting beat up by that
Yeah,
black
yeah.
guy, it was like everything changed. Everyone's like, oh shit, dude. Like, stay strapped or get slapped. And they had like that shirt come out and everything. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then literally I'm coming out of the store and someone makes a joke and they're like, hey, man. You're strapped tonight, bro. I go, come on, guys. The fuck? I was doing this way beforehand. But, anywho. Fucking ladies and gentlemen, welcome Bucky to the show, man. Welcome on, man. I'm so happy to have you on, guys. This is the Derek Friends podcast. I've had you on before, man. Welcome back.
It's been a long time.
It has been a minute, dude.
I'm kind of a hermit, so, I don't make it out of the house much.
I think we all are hermits at this point because
Yeah.
we've already kind of gone through the process of like recovering from this fucking pandemic nonsense, and now it's like it's living the California life is what I'll call it. Because
I
you
guess.
could be in Florida right now where you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been working from home since, like, this whole thing started. I work for a health company, so they're pretty strict on the rules, So.
Well, that's the world. I mean, not only that, it's just we just don't. I don't know if you have to figure it out yet. I don't think we have it figured out. I think we're kind of winging it.
I think some people have it figured out, but I don't think it is.
I mean, you work from home, right? Mm-hmm. So like, what's it like working from home now? Now that you've like actually got to experience like not having to go to work every day.
It's barely work.
Like
what? I wake up so I have to be at work at 8. I wake up at 7:45 and I lay there in bed and I fuck around on my phone until 8:01. And I walk out into the living room and I pop my laptop open. I log in and log into VPN, so it looks like I'm on the clock.
You're in fucking. It's like you're in goddamn San Diego. You can do that now. You can put it wherever you want.
Dude, I really fucked that up because I could do my job from. I've been in the office since last year. I've been in the office about 6 or 7 times, and it was just for like half a day. So I could have been traveling this whole time, and hindsight being 2020, like I would have done that if I would have thought about it. Even with like the travel restrictions, like there was one dude I work with who he's been all over the fucking place. Like he's been like Nicaragua.
I'm the same way. I'm the same fucking way. Yeah. I was traveling to go see my dad in DC, and while I was there, literally we're at this nice sit down bar, and they announced the social distancing thing. They announced it right there, and they moved us from the bar to a table. It was so strange, right? They just instantly were like, "Oh, we got to do this now." They're announcing it, and I remember going, "Oh, you have to put a
plexiglass wall between you and your dad now."
Yeah, right. It was like, "Oh, fuck!" Like, okay, so wait a minute. Now I have to. I'm flying back. Am I going to get home? Like that was the first thing that went through my brain was like, "Am I going to be able to get home?" And I remember going like, "Okay, like let's get to the airport." And I flew back, and I shit you not, dude. A direct flight from DC, from Dulles, I believe, I think it's DCA, to Sacramento was empty. Fucking empty. I literally was like going like this and taking pictures. I was like taking selfies of like the empty seats behind me. Rows.
Yeah.
3 rows deep of empty seats. My whole row was. I go, this is insane. This is mad. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, dude, I've never been on a flight direct to Sacramento from DC empty. Usually that shit's packed. You're fucking squeezing in there. You're like, okay, you're in the middle or you're fucking slammed up against the window. But no, dude, it was fucking perfect.
It's like those Sac to Vegas flights. They're always fucking packed full of like hookers and shit.
Oh no, dude. When I was what was it? I was going to I was going to Vegas one time, and I get on the flight. No, I was flying out of Oakland. And
oh shit! They have an Oakland to Vegas flight. I can only imagine.
It was Oakland. Yeah, I think it was Oakland to Vegas. And I was getting on it, and these girls were getting on, and it was right when they were enforcing masks. And these girls just got on, didn't give a fuck. They were just like, I ain't wearing no fucking mask. And they got asked like 3 or 4 times, and then finally, like the head stewardess or whatever you want to call their thing, and it comes up and it's like, listen, if you don't put your mask on, I can ask you to get off the plane. And then shit got real for like 10 seconds, and they put them on, and then they walk away and instantly take them off once we got in the air. But it was just so funny to see like how serious they were trying to enforce it. But it's just it's one of those things you have to kind of like look at and go, okay, is this realistic? I mean, yes, they've done studies that sometimes that the masks do. Like for instance, you know what I do, I have to constantly wear a mask all the time when I'm working. But is it beneficial? At some point, it probably is. Some point, somewhere along the lines, yeah. Does it stop certain things? Sure, but like look at goddamn Florida right now. They don't give a fuck, and they've been not giving a fuck forever, and they have less cases than us, right? I mean,
I knew I was gonna get it. It was just inevitable because my my wife and her sister, who lives with us, they're both in healthcare, and you know they're
so
both working. I knew I was gonna fucking get it, and sure enough, I got it in January, and I was, you know, I had a cough for about 4 or 5 days. I actually went and got tested just to verify that I did have it, and I did. And mostly because I just wanted to donate convalescent plasma afterwards, and that was it. So I got really lucky, but I know it's fucking a lot of people up, and you know it's a scary thing, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as they're making it out to be. I mean, it's like if you look at like the statistics, it's
right. If you have underlying health conditions and there's something going on with you,
and I mean,
stay in the fucking doors. You know,
but I'm a fat dude. Like I should have comorbidities. Like I'm overweight, and I'm 38 now, so it's not like I'm spring chicken or anything like that. Like just statistically, like shit should affect me more than like a 20-year-old or something like that. The fact that, and like even with the vaccinations and shit, you can still spread it. You know, it's not like,
and that's the fucked up part is that we got to this point now where it's like, okay.
I mean, who are we? We got to really take a step back and like look at it from an objective standpoint, and objectively locking people in the house and making them wear masks in the store and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean that's one thing. The mask thing, you're right. I mean there is some value to it in like droplet spread.
Yeah.
Like if I sneeze or some shit like that,
regardless of what you want to think.
I don't want to sneeze my COVID germs on the can of, twisted tea that I smack some dude in the face with. But,
he deserved every bit of that tea.
He did. He had it coming. I hope he got COVID.
Don't wish that on nobody, man.
Ah, man.
He'll survive. He'll be okay.
He'll be all right.
He's all right, man. We love you.
He's a young.
Hey, you made a really good video for us to love, dude. So appreciate you. Yeah. And shout out to the black dude, man. You're the shit for doing that, man. Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Get slapped or get what is it? Stay strapped or get slapped. Yeah. Shit's dope. But anywho,
we just gotta look at it from an objective standpoint. Like, what are we trying to accomplish? And locking people down and closing businesses and things like that. Like, it's not objectively feasible,
and it's not long term.
It's not like people are that are going to get it at some point. And, those people who are at risk should definitely protect themselves in every way possible. They should be ordering DoorDash, and they should be staying in the house, and they should be, socially distancing and whatnot. But for the rest of us, younger, healthier people, like look at it like the cold. I mean, like how many? Look, when the COVID that I had, any years past. Actually, you know what? I think I had COVID before. Quite frankly, and it was right around early December 2019.
See,
I had everybody I fucking knew.
Dude, I was
everybody I knew.
My whole entire everybody at my job was just deathly, just like we were mugged. We were all down in the dumps. Like it went through everybody, and then next thing you know, like it lasted like a week. It was a week of horse shit, and we struggled through it. We struggled through it. But then the funny part was it's over, and to this. The last time I got sick was October 2019, and I literally have not been sick since. Knock on wood. But I've not been sick since, and it's the longest I've ever in my life gone. Because I usually am like one of those guys who gets one every once, or if not twice a year, I get something, but nothing.
I'm pretty dutiful, like on like the supplements and stuff like that. Like I take zinc every day. I take vitamin C every day. Like 2 grams or whatever, 2,000 milligrams. I take a fucking handful of pills every day, like vitamins. I take a multivitamin. I take vitamin K, vitamin B. I try to keep myself healthy, and I never really get sick. And like I said, the COVID thing, any other year, I would have gone to work. I wouldn't have called in sick.
Right.
Even when, like, the 2019 thing that I was starting to describe, I was more sick then with the COVID symptoms, and I still went to work, because it wasn't that bad. It was just annoying. I had it for like 2 fucking weeks. Like 2 weeks, I was like coughing like crazy.
I hate
It's just a lingering motherfucker. Yeah,
I've had those moments where, like, I've gotten sick before in the past where I'll just be in a coma kind of thing. Like, I'll go on my couch, get a cold rag, put it over my head, and just like sit there and just be like, okay. And I used to not take any medication at all because I thought it would be like it would go away faster, because I feel like that you take NyQuil and it would slow it down, or it would take longer, because I'd be sick for almost like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then now finally I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to take it. But now I'm like, fuck that. I'm taking my fucking Dayquil and NyQuil. I don't give a fuck. I'm taking all that shit because it definitely helps, like, feel better. I'm like, I'd rather feel better than to feel like shit for 3 days or feel like shit for a week and then feel better and it lasts like an extra 3 or 4 days, but you don't feel like garbage after it's all over. But at the end of the day, like, what do we... I mean, we have to at some point go, okay, listen, what are we going to do to educate individuals about how to take care of themselves,
It's going to be a yearly thing.
Because the vaccine, I got nothing against the fact that people want to go out there and be safe and take the vaccine and feel safer. That's fine. Go for it. But what frustrates me is that when they start going, okay, like it's the answer and then it's not. That's what concerns me. That's my concern. It's
it's a little sketchy. It's a little sketchy to me. Just because it's a new type of vaccine. So I'm no expert or anything like that. I'm not going to act like one, but it's like a regular vaccine against like the polio vaccine or whatever. They basically take a dormant version of the virus and they give it to you. And it's so that your body develops its own, immunities to it. Right. Mm-hmm. So with this,
I don't know shit about it anyway.
So I don't know much about either. I'm just kind of like giving like the dummy version that I fucking understand.
That's all you need.
I'm a fucking idiot, but so the crazy part to me is like, and this is something I kind of looked into just because like genetic modification is just something that's fascinating to me, like the whole CRISPR thing and shit like that.
Yeah, I was wondering about that stuff, man. I heard about it.
It's very related to
it's
that.
It's like rejuvenate.
I'll explain it. So the vaccines, I think all of them on the market, at least in the U.S. I think there's one in China. Like I think Sinovac is different, but they all are mRNA based vaccines, where essentially you're injecting yourself with. I think they use the E. coli virus. To give you, the mRNA gives instructions to your cells to produce the spike protein that is, essentially the same as the COVID spike protein, so that your body can fight it off. Okay. I don't know if I explained that good or not. It sounded good. And
sounded pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
I believe you.
It sounds great. So from my understanding, again, this is just internet conspiracy bullshit, and I don't know if it's true or not.
Hey, everything on the internet is true.
Yeah, for sure. That process that, it creates oxidative stress. And so people are having heart problems, and people are having like it's bad for like your vascular system. It's bad for your cardiac system, and like it's causing like women to miscarry and shit like that too. Like there's people that I know that have miscarried that are vaccinated, that they're fairly young and healthy. Like they shouldn't be miscarrying babies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's causing like weird periods and shit like that too. Like even my wife's been having problems with that. So I mean, it's just like concerning me because like my heart is not the best. I mean, like my cardio sucks right now. Like I don't necessarily want to put more stress on my cardiovascular system. So I know I haven't gotten the vaccination yet. Hopefully they come out with something better soon. But with the whole CRISPR thing, right?
I was kind of curious. I heard about it, but I was like, okay, what's this all about?
So my what I was looking into, was the essentially. Have you ever heard of myostatin? Do you know what that is? Okay,
No.
so myostatin is some people have more of it, some people have less of it, and myostatin is what controls how much muscle you can put on. The more myostatin you have, the more it fights you building muscle. Like I don't know if it's like if it fights ATP. I don't know the mechanism of it.
Process of building muscle, probably.
Yeah, like ATP synthesis or whatever it is. So people that have myostatin deficiencies get like way bigger and more jacked. An example in nature is those huge jacked cows that are like they look like bodybuilder cows, right? But they're just out there eating grass, and they are bred that way to reduce their myostatin.
Okay.
So theoretically, and there's rumors that they've already done it to like Chinese babies and shit like that. You can, through like CRISPR, give a myostatin knockout to people that want to get huge and jacked and be good at sports. And like it basically be like steroids in a sense. Like steroids, obviously like have other benefits as well, like recovery and shit like that. But I mean, the recovery aspect of it, you'd have that because your body is like primed to build muscle. It's like it's going. So
well, it's like once you reach a certain point. I mean, I'm not no like expert on all that kind of stuff, but I found it very fascinating when I heard about it the first time and how it helps you. It rejuvenates. It's like I was watching something. I was watching another podcast I listened to, and they were explaining like how they're able to. I think I was watching. It was Don Fry talking about how he wants to go back and like do this weird CRISPR thing where it like rejuvenates him and takes him back. It slows the age process or reverses it or something like that. He's like, I want to go back and fucking throw some hands and fight Francis Ngannou and shit. And I'm like, God, this guy's a gangster, man. That's fucking Don Fry, man. He's the shit.
Have you done like a 23andMe or anything like that to like?
No, I haven't. But I know my dad on his side, he did his. I know my mom did hers. But I am very fascinated by it. I am very intrigued by like if just to know. But I mean, I found out from my mom's side where a lot of our lineage is and where we come from.
Well, what I was getting at is you can so I went through a company called what the hell are they called? I think they got bought out by 23andMe. It was called something with a P. Anyway, you can have your DNA analyzed to see like what what your potentials are with like athletics. You can have it. There's genes for there are longevity genes. I forgot what they are. That like there's this one gene where if you don't have it, there's zero chance you're gonna live to be 100. Zero. You're just gonna your body's just gonna break down.
Wither and break down.
Yeah, and I mean there's even genes. There's like what's called a warrior gene that's kind of common in like Asian and like Pacific Islanders, and I think in Africans as well. This like just people are just more impulsive, and just like they tend to be stronger. They tend to be I don't know, but it's fascinating shit. And I got into it for a while there, where I did. I had mine broken down, and like they tell you like what each of the alleles are,
right?
And I'm pretty much gonna die of a heart attack someday. Like my genetics, like all of them were pointing to like diabetes and heart attacks. Like I had some pretty good muscle building ones, and I had some like pretty good athletic ones, but yeah, for the most part, I'm not gonna live to be 100.
Can't
like,
imagine.
I got to burn the candle at both ends while I'm here, man.
I don't know. I know a lot of times like a lot of my family. I come from a good line. We're all pretty healthy. Yeah, there was some hiccups here in my grandparents or whatnot here or there, but like for the most part, we've been pretty lucky and blessed with our genes and what we have to work with. I know. We're all just giant ogres. I mean, my mom is 5'10" and she's the shortest one in our family. Fuck, we're just giant people. But when it comes to any kind of genetics, I think it's so fascinating how much we're getting involved with genetics now, and like how we can actually reverse the aging process and what we can actually do now. And I think that that's going to be a huge contributing factor to us later in life, like to us as a people, as like a race, you know, or like as an individual, as humans, we're like we're starting to reverse back time. We're starting to figure out a way to slow the aging process and eventually reverse it, which is fucking insane. Yeah, I mean, fuck, you see some of these goddamn movie stars that look like they're in their 50s and 60s, and they look like they're in their 30s. You're like, how the fuck
like
is that?
Paul
possible?
Rudd, dude. That dude looks like he's fucking 25. He's like 50.
Yeah, exactly.
How the fuck does that work, man?
You know what? Some people just have it.
It doesn't look like surgery either. Like there's some
people have it.
Yeah, there's some people that like obviously they had a nose job. Obviously they've had tummy tucks and fucking facelifts and shit like that. Like, that dude just naturally looks fucking. But
you can see sometimes when people go, they let go, or they go too far, and they're like, oh shit, like you can see they've had a lot of work done. You're like, okay, you know,
he started looking like a fucking weirdo. But yeah, that dude, like Jennifer Aniston, she's
killing it, just killing it,
slay that shit,
fucking killing that shit, and still doing her thing. But I still think it's one of those things that we're gonna dive into more, and it's gonna be pretty insane when we get that DNA mapping down, where you can start to build, like you can actually build like it's gonna get to that point where you go, I want someone who's this, I want someone who's that, or I want my kid to be really good at this.
You can already do that shit,
and that's what I'm saying. It's gonna get to the point where you can do a Build-A-Bear essentially for your kid. Which is fucking insane to me.
It's kind of like a conspiracy theory at this point, but allegedly you can go over to certain places like overseas, probably here in America too, and just basically lay out like, oh, I want my kid to, you know, be 6'3", blonde and fucking brilliant.
We got way too many fucking regulations here, dude. Either America, anywhere here in the US.
I think it's fucked. You know,
like anywhere else you can go. There's places you can go, like Mexico and what was it? Puerto Rico, where you can go get fucking just stem cells. Like if you got a fucking torn something, they can just jam it full of shit and just fucking heal that shit in a matter of time.
There's doctors that are starting to do it here, but it's kind of like under the table. Yeah, I was looking into that. I was looking into that for my wife because she's got a fucked up back. And like Rogan's always talking about the Regina Keen thing, where you basically take your own juice and spin it in a fucking centrifuge. And man, like I'm all about that kind of shit. Like, science me up. Like,
any way you can.
I know I was just talking like that I wasn't gonna get the vaccine, but that's just because, like, it's a little sketchy at this point. Like,
it's not like 100%.
Yeah.
It's just something that
I just don't feel it necessary.
I felt like it was thrown together just to give some people some comfort in a way.
Yeah, no, it really. I mean, think about if Trump was still president, we'd be having a different conversation right now.
God.
It would be like, this guy, he's trying to, you know,
Jesus.
Like it was, and that's how it was too. Like if you go back and look at some of the old footage when it was the Trump vaccine, everyone's like, oh, I'm not taking that. That's not science. But now that it's the good guy is president. We're cool with all the science. It's good. Yeah,
it is, man. But
govern me harder, daddy.
Seriously, man. But long story short, dude, we have a lot to learn with that shit. There are a lot of benefits that come from it. There are a lot of things that are going to happen in the next few years. I mean, just in the next 10 years, man, I feel like we're going to just make a huge jump. It's going to happen, and I think it's going to be. It's going to be insane, though, to see something like that happen and to see how it impacts the world. I mean, my God, if you can go, hey, I'm done being 50. I want to be 30 again. Yeah. And you can walk into a fucking store and be like, hey, let's do this. And then after, you know, some odd treatments, whatever, boom, you come out and you're like, oh, shit, I can fucking deadlift 400 pounds again, or I can run a mile in 7 minutes again, or you know what I mean? Like it's just, you're going to see some drastic changes.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the athletes
reversing the aging it's like the regrowing hair. You know, it's
like that was
you can stop, you know, going bald to a certain extent with like minoxidil and finasteride and things like that, which, you know, like I tried finasteride for a little bit, but like minoxidil, you know, I use that pretty regularly because there's like really no side effects to it. But like then reversing the process, that's a whole different thing. Like that takes that, you know, because your cells in your body, like reversing aging is tough because the cells in your body, like the more they reproduce, the more like retarded they get. Basically, it's like,
well, you're manipulating everything. I mean,
well, you're constantly producing more cells, and old cells are dying off. The aging process is that when those cells reproduce, like each cell that reproduces is a little bit shittier than the one before it. At a certain point in your life, like obviously it, like, you know, as you come up on puberty and shit like that, there's just so much happening that your cells are probably getting stronger and, you know, like more robust and things like that. But then you hit that tipping point, I don't know, around like, depending on your
peak
your
or whatever
genetics or whatever, around like 20, 30, 40.
I still think it's fascinating how a lot of individuals, like everybody has a different peak point, you know. You have a lot of people who peak at like 30 to 35, or then you have freak athletes who can peak from fucking 40 to 40. Like, it's just insane how they can do that.
I wish I had that.
We just watched, for instance, Jose Aldo fight tonight, and he fights at 135, and that dude literally at 145 was the king of Rio. He would dominate people at 145. And then now he's fighting at 135. He would struggle to make weight at 145. But now he's got a proper nutritionist. He's doing everything right, and he's dominating. And he's 36 years old, I think 36. And, dude, he looks like a stud. He looks amazing.
Yeah.
We saw him just completely dominate that dude like it was nothing. And it's insane and that was just, I don't even know what he's doing.
Munoz is a lot younger than him, right?
Much younger. So it's like, to see something like that, you can, and now the exception is Jose's a fucking freak of nature. I mean, that guy literally is just a specimen in itself. I mean, for someone what I didn't know is that for the longest time, he was just cutting weight. Like, he didn't cut weight the right way. I mean, he didn't have a nutritionist. He wasn't doing any of that shit.
Down in South America, they do some wild shit.
And he wasn't even doing any of that. Yeah. He was literally like just fucking making weight and fighting. I mean, he trained, obviously. I'm sure he had a process of some kind, but he wasn't doing anything like he is now, where he has an actual diet, like a diet regimen, nutritionist following it, like, you know, doing what he's supposed to. He's 135 and he looks fantastic. I mean, we saw it. Those leg kicks were fucking nasty. He timed everything perfectly. He was clear, calm, precision. He was poised in the action. His jab was insane. It was like the Jose Aldo of old in a way. You know, he was able to control the distance very well, and when he threw his kicks, he did them in the right way. I know the whole time at the fight, I was like, going, hey man, when's that leg kick coming? When's it coming? And finally, he threw that leg kick, and you're like, oh shit, like that's why he was waiting for the moment to time it. And then you start to see Munoz's leg just fucking start to buckle, and then that's when you realize like he couldn't put weight on it, he couldn't shift, and then that's when Aldo just like let it go. But once he realized that the fight was in his favor, he didn't give a fuck. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking now I know that I won, I'm just gonna chill, because, you know, he's never, I mean, he in his previous career, he would do finishes and whatnot. But now he's like, nah, I want to be a champ. I want to go for I want to fight the champion. And he's a different fighter now. It's so strange. It's so interesting to see a fighter go through their stages. I mean, he was dominant for 10 years. That guy literally, no one could fuck with him. And then now he's just making this another title run. Like, he's just going for it. And I completely applaud him for that. My God, it's insane to see that. But just on the basis of like where he's at now at 36 or in his mid 30s, he's just fucking dominating.
Well, who's the champ at 135?
135 right now is, who is it? Aljamain Sterling, I think 135. No, that's 120. That's 125. 135 is, oh my God, why can't I think? I'm going blank right now. He probably pulling up on your phone right now. Wow, this is horrible. I'm wearing a fucking UFC shirt. I don't even remember what the fucking.
You suck, dude.
I do it horribly.
Total poser.
Bantamweight.
No, you're right. You were right. It's Aljamain.
It's Aljamain. Okay.
Aljamain.
I was gonna say, fuck, man. Am I that drunk already? Jesus Christ! I've only had like one of these things. Jesus Christ. Well, Aljamain is a specimen in itself, but I don't know, man. I don't know how he's gonna do fair against Piotr Jan. That's gonna be a fucking brawl. I don't know if you watched that guy fight. Piotr?
No, I'm not.
Oh, dude, Piotr. Oh, that guy's a savage. You know how that all went down, how he got the belt, right? You know, the breakdown. So when they fought, Aljamain was on one knee, or he was a downed opponent, and I guess Piotr's corner was yelling for the knee because they thought it wasn't a downed opponent. Because apparently, if you have there's different
rules.
Like
rabbit punch him or some shit like that.
It's not that so the UFC is not like the NFL, like an organization where it's like everywhere you go it's the same rules, right? So each area you go to has different rules. So like one area in Vegas, it's one hand or
because like
two hands is a down
the athletic
opponent.
commissions
Right.
and the UFC have opposing.
It's inconsistent.
Rules. Yeah.
So, like for instance, like there's some rules where they announce it, though they adopted the blah blah blah, rules. So, like for instance, if you fight in one state, it's a down opponent is two hands on the ground.
Yeah.
Whereas you fight in another state, it's one hand. So it's like all over the place already. There's no established like everywhere is even across the board. So in the fight, he was a down opponent. He had his knee down. I think he had his knee down, and Piotr Jan, his corner, was yelling for the knee. And he blasted him with a knee to the fucking head.
Oh shit!
And in that process of doing that, they obviously called it, and it was, I don't know, I don't want to say it was a flop, but it kind of seemed like he was like, oh, he tried to get up, and it was like way over the top, and I mean, yeah, it was an illegal shot. I'll admit that was absolutely. I mean, obviously he lost the fight due to it, but in my opinion, I thought it was kind of strange because Aljamain Sterling was all like upset about it, and he got the belt, and he's like, no, he took the belt off. It was like this huge thing, and then like a couple of days later, like showed a video of him bringing the belt back to his family and friends and going, yeah, this is me, I'm the fucking champ, and it just felt like, okay, wait a minute, dude, like you just literally threw this fit about it, how it not being real, but then you go home and do that. Like, what's the process? Like, why are you, if you're not really the champ? I mean, I applaud people like Justin Gaethje who won the belt from fucking. He fought for the belt from who was he fighting? Is it Tony Ferguson? He fought Tony Ferguson for the interim title, right? And completely dominated him. It was so incredible how well he fought that fight. And then took the belt off and threw it on the ground. Joe's like, what'd you do? He's like, I'll wait for the real one. I'm like, okay, I fucks with you, man. I fucks with you, Gaethje. That shit's tight. But it all depends. I guess if you're not there, you're not in the ring. You don't know. You don't know. I've never been caught with a fucking knee like that. I've never been punched like that.
Yeah.
Those guys fucking put all their heart and love into that sport. I mean, you don't know. You don't know until you're there. You really don't know.
Yeah,
you can sit here all you want on the sidelines and say this.
It's like watching the Olympics and shit. Like, so I just got a set of rings for my garage, thinking like, oh yeah, it'll be something to fun, fun to stretch out on and shit like that. Like, I don't know. Those motherfuckers are like human ants. Like, there's like no way those dudes are human. Those people that do like the ring fucking.
Oh
routines,
yeah.
That's fucking. I can barely hold my own weight up on that
insane.
shit. Much less do like Superman poses and fucking flips and shit like that.
They're insane, dude. They're absolutely insane.
Absolutely nuts. Like I've been working out with those for the last like 4 or 5 days now.
Dude, they're the strongest athletes.
Yeah.
Gymnasts.
Oh, absolutely.
Insanely
I absolutely
strong.
believe that.
Insanely strong.
Yeah. Just to be able to like move around and shit. I could barely do pull-ups. These motherfuckers like flipping around and shit on rings.
Oh, their core, dude. Every part of their body is like a tool.
Yeah,
like every muscle they're engaging. It's just like swimming, right? Swimming we take for granted. That's like one of the most demanding things you could do with your body because you're using every muscle.
Yeah.
It's like those guys. I was watching the Olympics. It was like the women's something. It was some kind of women's event. I can't remember how many meters or whatever the fuck it was. Oh no, it was the what do you call that when they dive in like this? It's the fucking. There's some. I can't think of it.
The high dive.
No, were they wow, this is terrible, people. I'm horrible at this, but I don't swim. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. Well, they're doing this one swim where literally every person gets on the diving board and they use like that that shot where they show it, and their shoulders and their fucking wing, everything is just like built.
Yeah,
they're just monsters. They're just jacked women, just fucking. And I'm like, God damn, why are they all? And I remember I was watching it with my buddy. He's like, yeah, dude, it's swimming, bro. It's fucking, they train like a motherfucker, and they train every part of their body. It's not just like, oh, we're going to deadlift today, and they're going to just deadlift and work on just their back and this and that. Now, obviously, there's a lot of supporting muscles that go in with that as well. But like they're training every single part of their body to do that. And it's just insane. It's totally, like, you don't think about it. Like you burn, what is it? They said that you sweat more in the water than you do doing a lot of other sports. You don't realize it.
I can imagine like your body, because I mean, our bodies are adapted to being on land. Like our bodies aren't, set up to spend long periods of time in the water.
Yeah.
So like our sweat glands and shit like that. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They're like, he's
he's
doing a lot of shit, so make.
But
it
that's
sweat.
why it's so dangerous, because you can get exhausted.
Exactly.
And not realize it, because your body's
you don't know.
Your
you
body's
know you're sweating.
Your body's regulating its temperature. Your core temperature is rising, but then it's obviously cooling at the same time. So it can easily be deceiving by, I'm hydrated or not. You're not, because you're not showing it's your body's not sweating. It's being cooled while you're working.
It's like beach drunk. Have you ever been like beach drunk, dude? You get all fucked up and
I used to
sunburnt. And
that reminds me, when I was in Alabama, we went to this venue. What was it called? It was called it was in Alabama, and it was a fucking concert thing, like Aftershock, and we were out there, and it was called something fest, or I can't remember, something fest. Anyways, so I was there, and you're on a beach. Okay, so first of all, you're fucked.
So
you're
like
on a
Floribama
beach.
shore kind of thing.
right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And not Golf Port, and Gulf Shores.
Gulf Shores.
And Hangout Fest. That's what it's called, Hangout Fest. And we're there, and we're hanging out. Go figure. No pun intended. And the
right
beach.
fest.
You're on a beach. Okay, you got stage here, you got stage over here, and you're just you're walking to and from stage, but you're on a fucking beach. You're walking in sand. Okay, mind you, you can bring in camelbacks full of water, because you have to drink water. And I remember going in there going, okay, I'm gonna get fucked up and have a great time. Well, of course, I had a good time either way, but I wanted to be drunk. Everything's better when you're fucked up. Anyways, so we're walking around, and I literally was like drinking pretty much like a tall can of Pacifico or Corona. They were doing like a whole Corona premiere special there the whole time, and I, for the life of me, was trying to get fucked up. But you have to be careful, because you sweat so much, like your body's just pouring through that liquid, and you could dehydrate and not realize it. So you have to consistently drink water. So I never really got fucked up. I just got like halfway fucked up, just to the point where I'm like, okay, I feel something. Oh no.
Did you eat that day?
I did. No, I ate in the morning, and then I ate throughout the day. And that was back when I was lean though. I was like back when I was like 215, 220. And I would literally go from show to show to show, and I'm like, I'm chugging beers and whatnot, and I can never get that buzz. Like if you're at Aftershock, bro, I could fucking go over to a place, get a nice Jack and Coke, and just sit on that and get nice, have a good time, nice buzz. Yeah, it was cool. It's California. Well, when I was there, dude, you're just sweating all the time. You're constantly sweating. But you have to
the
drink
humidity.
water. You have to drink water
it's
too.
Not the heat, it's the humidity to get you.
Literally, I would literally be going from tent to tent trying to buy booze, and I got to the point where I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go over, and I'm gonna buy a fucking. They had Coronas, Pacifica. They had some Budweiser and shit like that. I'm like, fuck it. I look at something that's, what's the most refreshing thing? I'm like, give me a Mike's Hard Lemonade. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, give me something I can just chug. Because I couldn't chug.
Smirnoff Ice.
I was like, I don't give a fuck at this point. So I take it, open it up, just slam that shit. Boom, put it down, and then finally I got a buzz. I'm like, oh, cool. And it lasted like 35 minutes, and I was done. Because you're literally filling your Camelback. I would go from show to show filling my Camelback up, and I never had to go pee. Like you're just sweating the entire time.
Yeah.
But
I think also your body is like burning the alcohol as fuel too.
Yeah, it is essentially. Yeah,
because usually like when you're like fully, caloried up and shit like that, like the alcohol, it's just, your liver's like, fuck that, and I'm gonna turn this into fun times. But like when you're like, when you're when you haven't eaten in a while, like your body will try to burn the alcohol as carbs.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, that's the worst part too. Is like you'll. That's why everyone says, "Hey man, like have a good." Like I used to go when I go. I'm like balls deep in golf now. My God, I'm obsessed, dude. It's so bad. Like I remember when I first started, it was like I was just like I sucked. Yeah. And now I'm into it now and shit. Oh, okay,
it's a fun way to get drunk outside.
It is. It's a great walk in the park. I love it. But I would go out there and I remember a couple times like I wouldn't eat before, and then I would be so sluggish and like nothing would work. It just was. I was frustrated. I never got things, and I'd eat at the turn, and then whole time I'd be a little more sluggish, and then like 11, 12, I'd start to wake up, and then finally it'd be good. And then I found out like the best way to approach it would be literally show up before the golf game, bring a snack, play, but stay hydrated for the first first couple holes. Let's keep the hydration going, and then at that point start to nibble on something.
Yeah.
just to give your body some kind of like fuel, and then it keeps you like alert. You're not sluggish. You're not like dragged down. And then at that point, I learned, okay, this is how. And then at that point, once I felt good, I'd start to crack the beers and get the birdie juice going.
Yeah,
get the inspiration.
It's like bowling,
loose.
man.
You get loose, and then you're like, oh hell yeah, now I got.
There's
this.
like a bell curve.
I'm on this shit
of drinking and golf and bowling. For me, like about 3 beers is my sweet spot where I'm like pretty good at bowling.
Oh yeah,
pretty good at golf.
I got you.
But once I get over like 5 beers,
you're fucked.
Fuck
it's
it,
the
dude.
3 beer rule, right?
It's like
3 fucking beer rule.
I better have a bag of balls because like I'm taking mulligans.
It's a 3 beer rule. That's straight up what it is. You have it's like pool. Whenever
but you got to like top off too, like like another half a beer, another quarter of a beer. Just kind of sip on them a little bit. You got to keep that buzz like right at the top of that bell curve.
Perfect. It's like
once you crest over,
like
all
your senses hone in.
I start spinning.
Everything, all your senses hone in. You're focused. You're like aware of your body movement when you're doing it. Like it's so strange. Everything feels natural. You're loose.
I think it takes the brain game out of it. I think it, like. It's like a lot of things, like even like shooting is like that, where like the first time you do it, you're like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. Like the first time I played golf, I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at this.
Because you're not thinking.
Because you haven't developed bad habits yet.
Right.
And so you start like, like the first time you do it, you just kind of like naturally do like what you saw some other dude do, and it kind of works for you.
Right.
And then you start like, well, I'll tweak this, I'll tweak that, I'll tweak
this.
And
that's when you start fucking.
And then you start fucking shit up.
Shanking everything.
Yeah. You start fucking shit up because you don't have bad habits.
Yeah. I could tell you what, man, I literally had, there's been times where I just recently had family out here to visit, and we went out and played this local course here in Cyprus, and I go out there, and I'm playing with my mom. Of all people, she plays golf very minimally, but she can still play. She hits the ball straight. I gave her so much kudos, Mom. Good job. You hit the ball straight, because most people don't even do that, and doesn't go far, but she hits it straight. And there was a couple of times where like I get up there, I'm like maybe 40 yards out, and I go to hit with my wedge or some shit, and it goes dead right. And I go, what the fuck? I line up the same shot, the same exact movement, and I'm like, God, this is horseshit. And it's so weird because after the fact, I go to another course and do the same thing in a different mindset, like just getting off work or something like that, and I hit everything clean and crisp, and I'm like, what the fuck? But it's just, you're right. It's the taking your brain out of it sometimes.
Yeah,
a lot of things in life though, you like remove yourself from something and do it and go, oh shit, why did that work so well this time?
There's a lot of sports where like a lot of athletes have been historically like pretty big alcoholics, like even like NASCAR.
Raging.
NASCAR is a big example.
Oh God, Jesus.
Like those dudes, like there's like some like legendary drivers out there that would just drive drunk as fuck.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, it's one of those like repetitive things too. Like they're doing like I've
like live on the edge.
I've done a little bit of racing here and there, like like a little bit of drag racing, a little bit of like road course shit like that. Like I've been around Sears Point quite a few times, and you kind of get in this like this flow state, and where you're trying to find like the right line, and you're trying to like pay attention to your car and what it's doing, but then it's one of those things too where if you put too much thought into it, you start making dumb mistakes. You're like, oh, I could take this turn a little faster and go a little wider on this turn, or try to hit this apex a little different, and you start fucking shit up. So yeah, I could see how like NASCAR. I've never like tried to do laps drunk. I'm not an advocate of drinking and driving,
of course. Of course.
But I could see how
kids don't try this. Don't ever drink and drive. Okay, be safe. Get an Uber.
Yeah,
okay?
Dude, this is not advice. This is cautionary
real life
tales.
Shit. Real life shit, guys.
Yeah, I could see how you might get some interesting results if you tried to do that drinking. I don't know.
Yeah, but that also goes with the bad habit thing. You're like, oh, you feel way more confident when you've been drinking. You feel like,
for sure,
nothing can hurt you. You're invincible. Nothing's gonna fuck with you. And the next thing you know, you're fucking in a ditch, or like you're getting in a barroom brawl with somebody or something like that. And it's like, God damn it.
No, I'm talking about it's like specifically in like NASCAR or like road racing. you know, you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you're trying to find like the right way to do it for, you know, a couple hours.
But fucking hey, dude, alcohol has seemed to help us, a lot of artists, a lot of people, not just like athletes sometimes, but like artists and shit. Like, man, alcohol, man, some of the best writers in the world drank.
Yeah.
Like
that was there's a famous quote from Ernest Hemingway: "To write drunk, edit sober." I mean,
because you write some crazy shit.
Well, also like motivates you to do things too. Like the alcohol for me is like the king of false promises.
That's the best. That's literally. I was just doing this the other day. I was literally on my couch hanging out. I had a couple drinks and I was like, man, I got my guitar and started writing shit. And like the way I write stuff is I literally have to get like a nice buzz going and get my drink, whatever, and then I just like it starts flowing. Stuff starts flowing through my brain. I get like melodies put like in my head. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's just strange how I will formulate something, and then I'll get a melody going. I got a good chord progression, and then the next thing you know, I'm like, ooh, this is good, and I'll push record because I'm like, I got to record this. I got to get this down, and then I'll record it, and I feel really good about it. Next day, listen to it and go, that was pretty shitty.
Is this might be fixable?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, but there's times where you hit something and go, oh shit, that was a good. Ooh, I like that. I could do that. I could work with that. And you log it away, and then you bring it up later, you know, or you write it down. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest. I swear to God, in my room right now, I have a fucking book that I was literally in my room about to fall asleep, and I thought of these lyrics, and I went to fucking write them down. It was just I found whatever I could. Like, I have a knack for when I write lyrics, I'll fucking write them down on a goddamn envelope. Just a fucking envelope. I'll grab a bill and just write my lyrics down on that. Like, I still have lyrics from songs I wrote fucking 10 years ago on an envelope. Just because the first thing I could do. I don't have.
That's dangerous though, because you could lose that shit. I remember I had this notebook, now I do it like notes on my phone. But a while ago, when I was like trying to like think of ideas, like about 2008 or 9, my idea was, I think it was about 2007. I was gonna do like a public access show. This is like before like YouTube got real big, and I was like, oh man, like I started because I was working a weird shift. I was working a mid shift, so like I'd work like 2 to 11 or something like that. Anyway, like the afternoons. So I'd get home from work about midnight, and like when I got home, there's like nothing on TV. Netflix wasn't real big yet, so I'd watch public access. Just because, there's like these funny dudes that were on public access at the time. I was like, dude, I could totally do this. But so like I had a notebook, like an actual physical notebook that I wrote down all these funny ideas in. And I like when I was moving one time, I lost it. Right.
Oh shit.
And then I found it like fucking 7 or 8 years later. And I was like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. But nowadays, I'm more high tech because I put it on my phone, like in the notepads.
Yeah. Oh, I got all kinds of
like Google Drive or something like that, just so I can like refer back to it. Because I have like some movie ideas and shit like that like I'll never write them because I'm lazy as fuck. But I like to think that I'm creative.
I think I think everyone has a little bit of creativity in their mind somewhere.
Sure, it's just a matter of like
tapping into it, I guess.
It's I don't even think it's that. Like, it's not even tapping into it. Like, everyone's creative in their own way. I think it's a matter of just being motivated enough to actually like put pen to paper. Like anybody could write a movie, but it's one of those things where like like theoretically in your head you think you're just gonna write it and it's done, right? But what's gonna happen is you're gonna write it and you're gonna read it back and be like, this sucks, this is fucking bullshit. And the motivated people are gonna go back
continue
and write it again. And they're going to read it a second time and be like, it still sucks. It's still bullshit. And they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to write it again. And eventually you're going to come up with a product that's good enough that you're going to be like,
sellable or something you could
I'm down. I'm like, finally I'm at the point where I feel like this is good enough that I can let somebody else read it. And that's where I'm falling off because I'm just too fucking lazy to do it.
It's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's extremely tough. And that's the, like, you think that like these like famous people, these creatives, like artists and shit like that, like you see them come out, like you see like artists come out with an album every year or two, right? But that's a year or two. Like, what have you done last year?
Yeah.
Like picture your full-time job being working on that album. So if you're like motivated enough, you could. but are you? No, I'm not. Like,
yeah, it's tough. Well, anytime you do that, it's tough. But you have to have that drive, and
Yeah.
then you also have to be like you have to have the willpower to look past all that shit.
It is really willpower.
You're gonna have naysayers that talk shit and be like, "Oh yeah, I don't think that's good," or this and that. But you have to look past that shit and just kind of believe in yourself in a way to where nothing else really matters. I mean,
mindset's key because like avoiding confrontation has been my whole life. Like, I just don't want to be confronted. I don't like having hard conversations with people. I don't like confrontation. So that also kind of plays into I don't necessarily like to fail, but failing, at work I've failed plenty of times, but
you have to fail.
That's different.
Failure
for
is
some
part
reason.
Of success. That's the hardest part is getting past that and realizing, okay, there's
having enough.
There's growth that comes with it. You go through the growth period where you
got to disconnect from your own ego to the point
right,
where it's
but you
okay
also
to fail.
You're never going to get anywhere. You're going to have to fail. It's like you can't enjoy a sunny day without a few rainy days. You can't do
without the rainy days. The sunny days aren't as fun.
Right, exactly. But I mean, there's a certain point where you have to go. I want to be better at something, or I want to learn something, or I want to challenge myself, and you initially take that step to want to change, and then at that point you recognize what you want and where you want to be, and who or whatever it is you're doing, and you say, listen, this is the thing I want to be, this is what I want to do, and then you push yourself, and you have to push yourself through those instances where you're going to struggle, you're going to fail, but through that failure you're going to find something even more incredibly amazing as growth. And then what's going to happen one day, you're going to wake up and go, holy shit, where am I? Like, what am I? Oh my God, I'm at a whole new point of me. I'm like a new version of me. You're the same person in a sense, but you're not the same. You don't have the same mindset anymore. You don't have the same habits. You've changed. You've made that personal growth. And then you're like, oh shit. And a lot of times people will do something like that and then they'll just stay there, or they'll go, oh, I reached this goal and then stop, or they'll get stagnant. I'm weird. I guess in some ways, like I like to not do shit. I am the king of being lazy. I love being lazy. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun not doing shit.
Pretty unrewarding, but it's rewarding.
But it has its moments where, you realize like, okay, the path I'm going down isn't going to get me anywhere. So what do I need to do to change that, and it could see as simply as, doing something, if it's somebody who's trying to lose weight, what do I want to do? Well, fucking go for a walk, dude.
Yeah.
Go fucking jog or some shit, or, if it's anything, eat something healthy once, or do something that kind of like just gets you going. And then next thing you know, you're doing one thing, and then the next thing it's two things, and then three, and the next thing you know, you're on a full regimen, or you're on a full workout, or you're doing a little bit more. It's like, you're never going to get better by doing something once and hoping for outcome. It's like I love those gym memes where they're like, oh yeah, I went to the gym one day and I feel like what I really look like versus, or what I really want versus reality, and they go in there and they do like one workout and go, yeah, I'm the shit, and then the next day they're like, fuck it. It's those guys who are resilient, who push through that shit, who go, okay, you know what, it's going to take more than a day, it's going to take more than that. It takes 21 days to build a habit. And you set that up, and then once you get there, it's so weird. I remember myself and when I went through my weight loss process, when I was like, I remember I was like 250 something. Now I'm like, I'm way heavier now. I'm a fat fuck now. But like I would cut weight like crazy, and I was dieting horrible. It was bad. I was just eating 1,500 calories a day for 2 months. Like, dude, 1,500 calories a day. Like, I thought that was a lot. Fuck, dude, that's nothing, dude. I was starving myself. I got down to 202, and I remember everyone was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you look like a string bean, bro. Like, there's no muscle mass. You're just skinny as fuck. I got down to my body fat percentage was like 11%, which is low for me. And I was like, oh shit,
People don't understand body fat percent.
Yeah, they don't.
11% is very low. Like 11%.
Oh
fuck,
like, dude, like
visible abs.
The average for a male is for a healthy is between 12 and 15. Yeah. That's the average. And then for females is higher because they're designed, right. Their body's designed to bear children.
Average people like don't understand that though, is the thing. Like, they see like these bodybuilders on stage like, oh, there's 0% body fat. Like, no, they're not 0% body fat. Dude, they would be dead. They're probably like 6%.
Well, no, but here's the kicker. There is it like I watched things about Ronnie Coleman, and he was saying when he would go up there, he was like 0.5%. He was saying
that's bullshit.
I don't know if it's true or not, but he was explaining that's what he was. He
would be dead. Like, there's like that one dude, Andreas Munzer, I think. is his name. He got down to such a low body fat, he fucking died. His kidneys just fucking failed.
Your body needs a certain level of fat.
Yeah, like, so these guys that say they're like 1% body fat, that's like not physically possible. Like, you would be dead. You know, there's like visceral fat. There's, you know, just because you're fucking lean and striate and everything like that. Most of those guys are like 5 or 6% body fat. And that's not like a knock against them or anything like that. Yeah. They look how they look.
Right.
But I mean, just the way that we understand body fat percentage is.
Man, I'm gonna turn the air on real quick. It's getting hot in this bitch.
Yeah, it's toasty.
I got like a temperature gauge right there I can see.
Yeah, like one thing that I always try to remind myself is, you may not want to go to the gym, but you won't regret it afterwards. Like, there hasn't been a single time that I've gone and worked out that I've been like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, that was a bad decision. Right. Like, no, it's always been a good decision. It's always been the thing that I want to do. And I've been trying to get myself back on the routines because, like, in the last, you know, fucking 15, 16 months or whatever it's been since I've been locked up in the house, like, I haven't been working out. But finally, I got my gym set up in my garage. Like, I'm to the point now where I can do pretty much anything that I want to do in my garage without, you know, I don't have a gym membership anymore. Like, ever since I bought my house, like, I canceled my gym membership. And
I think I still get, you know, I have a saying, you know, whenever you get a gym membership and they give you the little key ring, you know, it goes on, you lose 10 pounds automatically. Like, that's the running joke. And I remember when I got mine at Gold's, my roommate at the time, he was going to the gym religiously. I mean, that motherfucker was like obsessed with going to the gym, man. He was just all about it. And I used to watch this motherfucker eat like eggs and hard-boiled eggs and fucking tuna, and just look at him and go, ugh, that just looks sad. Like, but then what's funny is that I became that person because I was obsessed. I have an obsessive personality. When I want to do something, I just fucking do it. And I did it, and I got really lean. And I remember he was like, damn, dude, like, you're fucking straight up motivated. Like, you become almost kind of like freakishly addicted, and like, it's concerning sometimes because you'll be like, literally, someone will be sitting there like, hey, it's your cheat day. What are you doing? I'm like, oh, I had a half a burger. And you're like, a half? What the fuck's wrong with you? Eat that whole you're not going to. And then there was a point where I realized, okay, like, I can do this stuff, and it takes a long time to lose weight. It also takes a long time to gain weight. You can't gain, literally, if you wanted to gain a pound in one day, you'd have to eat like 7,000 calories to gain 1 pound.
I feel like I gain weight like really fucking fast.
It just depends. It's all about, but that has to do
with like a plateau point where I like kind of just get stuck there.
Yeah,
too,
see, which
is kind of a good thing because otherwise I just blow up like a fucking.
They talk about like
600-pound life person.
They talk about your plateau, like, and how you plateau, like. And I never hit that. Like, I never actually plateaued because what I was doing essentially was I was eating so little amount of calories. I was literally draining myself. It was like I was getting ready for a fight. Like,
but your body too like stops you at a certain point where you have like no fucking energy. You're sitting around on the couch like a fucking loaf of shit because you're not taking enough calories.
But the weird part was, here's the weird part though, is that I was literally, I felt like better than I ever felt because I wasn't eating. Like, I wasn't eating shit. I was eating relatively clean, just like chicken, broccoli, salmon for dinner. Like, I was eating all this good, clean meals. I fucking never ate. I had sweet potatoes. I thought the sweet potato was a shit. When you're dieting, sweet potatoes are fucking shit.
These sweet potatoes are fucking
it's like,
delicious.
Dude, when you bake them you bake them in the.
Do you have an air fryer, sir? Get an air fryer.
I have an air fryer now. Now I do. But my dad just got one for me for Christmas, and that shit is so.
I have an Instant Pot with an air fryer insert. It's like the ultimate meme.
What's that thing they have that comes out where they fucking say, they're like people who say they have an air fryer and it's like a picture of a fucking.
Have you heard about air fryers?
A stout family in like fucking Renaissance clothes, just looking over all the peasants.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the joke. Like, how do you know if somebody has an air fryer? Don't worry, they'll tell you that they have an air fryer. Yeah,
they will. They'll fucking be the first ones to fucking tell you. Hey,
it's great, dude. I'm totally on board now.
I got it, and it was actually it worked so good. I know people are gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna get fucking crucified for this one, but I made a steak in one because my dad bought one for me for Christmas, and that thing kicks ass.
I haven't done a steak yet.
I did a steak in it.
I'm going to do it.
I know I'm going to lose a lot of fucking brownie points with the meat eaters out there, but because you know how to make a steak is you got to pan sear that shit in a cast iron, which I love to do. I wanted to try it.
I like it on the grill better.
It was merely a experimental thing, and it was actually pretty decent. I didn't cook it the way I want because I'm one of those guys who eats the shit still mooing. I like my shit rare, motherfucker. I can have a fucking blue rare steak. I'm just one of those weird people who can be like,
It's like
3
1 minute
three
on each
minutes,
side.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
But
Okay.
I get steaks, dude. I have to at least be an inch to inch and a half, like thick steak. I have to get like the fucking. I go over to Nugget, the little, the butcher over there, and I get the fucking nice New York strips, the ribeyes.
Fuck yeah.
I'm way more into New York strips now. I fucking love them, dude. They're so good. I ordered these.
I'm a
steaks.
ribeye person myself.
Ribeye?
Yeah. That's
Now,
my
would you
thing.
say? Okay, on that note, this is a totally like
porterhouse? Porterhouse
totally
is like,
crazy. But would you
you know.
do you prefer the eye or the cap? Do you know the difference?
I don't know the difference.
Okay, okay,
I haven't gone to beef college.
I'm glad you said that. Okay, let me educate you of the education of beef. Okay,
Sprinkle some game on me, bro. I'm down.
I'll sprinkle that. Okay, so check it out. So when you're looking at the ribeye,
Okay.
and I feel like I should pull this up on the computer so you can see it. But essentially, what you're looking at is on the inside where you have basically this line of fat that kind of follows the outside of the steak.
Okay.
The inner part is the eye. So if you look it up, I can fucking pull this shit up so you can see. Now we got this shit on lockdown. That is going to be, perfect. There you go. Okay. So what you're looking at here, continue or
Son of a bitch.
just fucking
cookies.
accept, dude. Who gives a fuck? Okay, continue. No one
Gonna get
gives
me
a...
spied on by the government.
God damn it, you're right. You need your fucking cookies. Oh, shit. That's fucking funny. Some funny shit. But anywho, so when you're looking at the ribeye, right? So the center part, like this is educational now. The center part of it, that would be the eye.
Okay.
Okay. That's going to be like, in my opinion, it's much more tough. It's less tender.
This is the good shit right there.
The cap.
Yeah.
That's the cap.
Okay.
So
I'm a cap man.
So you're a cap. Okay.
I guess I'm a
So
cat
what
man.
I do is at Costco they sell ribeye, they sell the caps, right? But they sell them just the cap, and then they twist them in a tie, and you can just cook those.
No shit.
Dude, it is fucking. I bought some.
That sounds dangerous.
Dude, it's incredibly dangerous because they're so fatty and they're so tender. Like it's the most tender part. I've literally I made one for my dad once, and I was like, here, I'm gonna give you 2 pieces of meat. You tell me which one. He's like, oh, they're both good. I'm like, okay, but which one's more tender? He's like, oh, the second one. I'm like, that's
sure.
That's because it's the cap.
That's the best part.
It's got much more marbling inside of it, and
it's
fucking
the,
is so
the
flavorful.
intramuscular fat.
Yeah.
Just
It's
douse
insane.
it
So
with love.
essentially, like I'm more of a fan of a strip. I like a strip loin, and the reason why is it's to me I don't go for tenderness, so to speak. I go more for like flavor sometimes because I'm more of a S&P man. I like S&P. That's it. I don't like any kind of other shit. Just S&P. Revert like I'll do a sear in the oven. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like
Have you ever done?
That's how I do it, man.
Have you ever done the sous vide?
I have had that. My friend Matt does one. And
I've got a sous vide machine.
He
It
swears
looks like a big
it's better than
dildo.
he swears that it's the fucking shit. But
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of
And
waiting.
that's like the beauty.
I like
going
just
back to it. That's
instant,
like the
dude.
beauty
I want
of
that fucking
exactly.
steak like in 10
That's
minutes.
the beauty of the air fryer. The air fryer works like about as quick as a microwave,
Oh shit!
but like the results are just crispy. And so like
it does, right? It does.
pizza rolls,
I will say
bagel
that.
bites,
I will say that.
mozzarella sticks. It's fucking, in the oven that shit would take like 20 minutes. Like that's bullshit. Like 20 minutes is a long time. Like I gotta have it now.
Right. That's my point.
And air fryer, like it takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think when I did mine, it asked you to flip it or whatever. But I'll do it just because. The only reason why I'll flip it is because
I don't flip.
Because I want both sides to be as crispy. Because sometimes I feel like it because the heat comes down from the top.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It
Okay,
doesn't make a big difference.
well, I'm picky.
I respect
I'm
it,
still
but,
learning it, man. I'm still.
all
I'm
good.
right
all
here.
good. That's why we're here.
You're up here. I'm right here. I don't know my air fryer
Hey,
as well as
you
do.
game me up on ribeyes. I'm gaming you on air fryer.
Hey man,
So
I like.
we'll talk about Instant Pots different time because that's a whole. I could go for 2 hours on the.
Oh God, I can't imagine. I can't imagine that shit. But no, man, I'm a meat eater, dude. When I was eating clean, my whole thing was that every week I would go out and I'd buy like a ribeye or I'd buy a steak just one day a week just to like appreciate the fucking. Oh, my camera moved. Just to appreciate the fucking.
sorry.
No, you're good, bro. In your fucking big ass arms, just fucking going for it, going for the gold.
It's my big ass size 12.
Big ass size 12 foot just knocked my camera. That's cool, dude. But like long story short, like I was always doing like one meal of just like I have a ribeye. It was like my reward for making it through the week. And I used to get so mad about how like I used to get mad at myself like, oh, I can't eat this that much. And then I realized like, dude, your body wants it. Like the fats from the ribeye are so good. Like your body wants fat. It's so strange how like I remember when I was
especially animal fats too. Like like
Well,
the grass-fed beef is like, dude, your body sucks that shit up.
Dude, but it's strange how your body wants. Like I remember when I was eating, I would only have like 60 or 70 grams of fat, and I'd be like, oh, you know, like this is crazy. I would always be like tired, or I'd always have something going on, and then I started adding more fats to my diet, and dude, instantly, I got a change. It was like instantly fucking things, you know, just changed for me. Oh my god, it was kind of insane.
Yeah.
But more or less the idea, like how much more energy I had eating it. Oh, so good though. It was so rewarding after eating chicken, where there's like no fat at all in chicken, and it's just fucking.
Chicken's just a protein.
It's just there. It's just there.
A chunk of protein. That's all it is.
All it is.
There's no fun in chicken.
Not at all. Not at all.
Steak though, like it's whole. Man, the price of beef lately has just been fucking depressing. Like
Well,
with the whole,
it's going up. That's the thing.
well,
everything's
it's
going up.
supply chain problems.
I
Because
know. Trust me. I know.
No, I know.
I
You know.
I know.
But
Trust
like
me.
shit. Like
It's insane.
last time I went to the what was it, like Food Max or something like that, like the cheap place. And fucking anything, like not even the good shit started at $10 a pound. Like ground beef is like $6 or $7 a pound here in California. It's
I was just in
fucking insane.
I was just at Nugget here in town, and Nugget has American Wagyu, and it's $39 a pound. Yeah, it's $39.99 a pound. I'm like,
I'd actually,
that's
I
insane.
might pay that just because I've never had it, or I haven't had it yet. Like I've been meaning to.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it for sure. I am. I've never tried.
We
Wagyu.
should do that. We should do that on a podcast.
Fucking
dude.
just
I'll
cook it up and then just
I will bring the air fryer over here and we will break
Hook the shit up
motherfucking hearts
in this motherfucker. Like it's just right over.
We
the
will
corner.
air fry a motherfucking Wagyu.
Just right in this motherfucking room, dude.
We will
in the corner.
We will
I'll set
set
it up.
the internet on fire with air fried Wagyu.
I love it. I fucking love it. We could just do that shit.
I'll practice on a ribeye. How about that?
I thought
I'm gonna do this now.
I almost considered doing like a show on cooking because I love cooking so much, but I was like, nah, this is a lot of camera work and you got to angle shit and edit, and I'm like, man, that's a lot of fucking. It's like too much work for me. It's already hard enough.
I have a video I've been like trying to throw together where, I'm gonna put it up on YouTube at some point. It's me smoking meats, like the cheap meat. So like I bought like a pork loin. I forgot what cut of beef I got, but I got cheap beef, and then chicken thighs, and some sort of sausage that I've found, not linguiça, but I think it's like an andouille or something like that sausage, and it was like the cheapest cuts of meat that I could find. Like it was, I went to like Food Max and just like the beef especially was like
just garbage.
It was like some sort of roast or something like that. It was like I've round or something like that. It wasn't anything.
That's that lean shit.
Yeah, it's that sinewy bullshit.
There's
no way to make it.
I used to eat that shit just when I thought that was like the way to go.
Yeah, when you're broke, it's like, this is
disgusting
beef. But anyway, I smoked it on my smoker, and I taste tested all of it, and I got to edit that video together and I'll put it up. But yeah, it was surprising. Like the pork loin was the best. I'll just spoil it now. The pork loin came out really good, and I just use like a regular. I have like a Brinkman smoker. It's not like a Traeger or anything fancy like that. It's like the one where like there's like the big drum and then like the side compartment where you throw the coals and the wood in. And it came out like really good. Like the beef didn't come out great, but it came out pretty good. The sausage of course came out great. The chicken thighs, like smoked chicken, is really fucking good. Like it looks dry, and that's like it's like off-putting to look at. You know what I mean? Like
that's
dry
how it
chicken
works though, right? So it like almost
kind of encases the
yeah.
juices.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say it almost kind of does that thing where it seals it all in,
Yep.
so you don't lose any of that moisture. And the cool part about it is like you can take it off and eat it almost instantly because it won't.
Yeah.
Right? It won't just run out. It's more or less it's right. It's like something like that.
Yep.
I've messed with that a little bit. My mom bought a smoker. She bought a Troger or Krager or whatever the fuck it's called.
Traeger, yeah.
Traeger, thank you.
Those like the fancy ones.
Apparently can't talk right now, but she bought it, right? She got a whole video of it because, you know, and this is, okay. She has me go out there, I build it, and as I'm building it, I see the fucking directions, and this is where I got to shout out to the team out there who did this. I fucking love you guys. This is amazing. This is America as fuck, and this is very manly. They have in the instructions. So step 1, and it has beer 1. So like literally it goes 6-pack.
Yeah.
Goes beer 1. This step is to put here, here, and here. And I go, okay, how awesome would this be if I actually drink 1 beer per step? So I literally start with the first beer and kind of do the thing. And I go, all right, I'm done, and slam it. Go to the next one. Next step, open the next beer. And I keep doing that. I get to like third step, and I'm like, okay, this is getting a little harder because like you're just slamming beers because it's like, easy to put together, and it's in Las Vegas. It's hot as fuck out there right now, and it's like, oh god, you're just out. I'm out back building this ship, but it was so much fun, and I give credit so much to the actual like guys for doing that. Like beer 1, step 1, beer 2, step 2. It's like when you're shit faced. Oh yeah, at the very end, chug like a fucking shot of it. It was just, I thought it was so funny. I was like, shout out to those guys for putting that together. That's that's a very man thing to do.
Yeah,
like, hey guys, all right, when you're building this, you gotta drink. We gotta get fucked up. That's just the way it works. I thought that shit was awesome.
Yeah, that's how I would have done it anyway.
And it worked great. We did pork ribs, and it took forever. It's kind of like deceiving. You don't think it actually works because you set the dial for the temp and all that stuff, and then it slowly burns those compressed fucking sawdust, and it just does it. Yeah. And it's so weird because you're like, is it working? Is it not? It'll smoke for sometimes and then stop, and you're like, is it working? And then sure enough, man, it came out, and it was fucking so rich. We marinated it we bought them pre-marinated from Costco, and Costco's always come through with the meat. Like I've never had a problem with Costco. Those motherfuckers know what they're doing. I mean, it's hit or miss sometimes with the seafood, just because I don't fuck around with seafood that much when I barbecue. I'll just have someone else make that shit or go to a restaurant. But like it's hit or miss with that. But their beef their beef and their ribs, all that stuff are fucking on point, dude. I bought some rib caps there. I bought the fucking some New York strips there.
I'm
They
sold
have, like,
on that, man. I'm gonna be
so good.
I'm gonna be going to Costco.
We'll have a meat podcast where we just cook a bunch of fucking meat and just eat it.
I'm down for that.
That's all we do. We just fucking eat. Here, try this. Here, try this. Oh, we got some Wagyu over here. Because I know I follow some dude on YouTube who does like dry age shit, and like I never really understood the process of it, but I don't know if I can wait 40 days for a steak.
Yeah,
that's a long time. That's an investment, dude. And then once you do it, you actually have to cut off all the you basically cut the steak. The steak could be like 16 ounces, but then you trim it down to like 12 because you got to get all the whatever the pellico, whatever it's like. I think it's called like pellicos or pello somethings. That's something, and then you can cut those off and then actually break them down and put them in like burgers and stuff, because the actual like stuff around it, the dry age it's like the bacteria grows and it basically locks in all the moisture and draws moisture in or removes moisture from the steak to intensify the flavor. Well, you take those off and you cut them down and then you mix them into a burger, and it's like super super good. I watched this guy do it.
So the dry aging process is that, do they chill it, or
it's essentially a controlled? It's essentially, what do they say? A controlled breakdown, or it's a controlled decomposition of the meat, but it essentially draws the moisture out of the meat, which then it intensifies the flavor.
Yeah, no, I've been meaning to like. So I've had it once. It was really good. I forgot the name of the place. It's in San Francisco. It's down there. It's down there by Union Square. It's like that big steakhouse down there. So like my old boss, he took us all out there one time. It was like our company Christmas party. There's only like 5 or 6 people that worked there, but we went out there and we went to TD's. Or right, no, not TD's.
Titties.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
We went to Titties, man.
No,
hey, man, I like that place already, dude.
No, it was, we Club Gold, I think, or something like that. We went to a strip club out there. Right?
That's another story.
Yeah,
that was
one too. But yeah, this steakhouse out there, they had that on the menu, and I was like, man, my boss is paying. I'm buying the most expensive fucking steak on the fucking menu. They didn't have Wagyu.
I want a 24-ounce tomahawk.
Yeah, right, dude. I think my tab alone was $150, and this is a couple years ago too. It's like $150 then versus now. Yeah, 2 different things. That doesn't include alcohol either. Like,
God,
the alcohol,
just shitty, wasted, drunk.
Yeah, I was like red wine drunk, so it was rough.
Those are dude. Wine, dude. I don't know what it is about wine. Mine get you going,
God
man.
damn, dude.
It's
I was
so
wine
relaxing.
drunk
It's
last
amazing,
night.
isn't it?
Yeah,
And it makes
I was like a champagne drunk last night.
Okay, that's like what I call champagne drunk is like white girl wasted. And the reason why I say that, like
I was white girl
I'm not.
wasted.
Hey, listen, y'all. I'm not afraid to get white girl wasted, but that shit will literally put me on cloud 9 if I have too much of it.
Says the guy drinking twisted tea.
Hey, I'm telling you. Hey, don't be throwing shade my way, bro.
I am not throwing shade.
Don't be throwing shade,
but
dude.
that is the definition of white girl wasted.
You know what? Then I
you
get
need a
white girl
couple
wasted
shots
every
of
fucking day.
Fireball to wash it down.
It's true, man. It's totally
And then you
true.
wake up tomorrow and say, I'm
That's
never
it.
drinking Fireball again. Oh, it's gross.
I'm never drinking again, ever. Hey, man, fuck it.
Hold
Whatever.
my
dude.
hair.
Hold my hair when I have to throw up. Hey, man, whatever. Hey, pick your poison, okay? I just happen to like some
I
fucking
pick
tea
whatever
with
poison is
alcohol in it,
cheapest,
man.
usually.
Fuck it. Who gives a shit? But no, man, was that place like the #1 steak you've ever had? Or was there a significant spot you went where it had like the best shit? Because I've been to some fucking
man.
steakhouses where I've been like, oh my god,
The best steaks I've ever had are ones I've made myself. Usually,
isn't that weird? Though?
it is weird.
And it's not even good quality.
You know, it's a little collar topping. You know,
like I'm the fucking shit.
yeah, I do better. But yeah, no. So the dry age thing, like, if I had the resource and time and space and all things came
Patience.
together, I would try to do it myself.
I mean, I could do it for sure. I know I could. I
Yeah.
get tired of it. I just come home every day,
So if you go
open
to
my
Smart
fridge
and
and be like,
Final-
and just stare at it. Just be like, hey, today could be the day. No, I gotta close
Maybe
the door.
that's something we could work on too, because like if you go to like Smart and Final, like I don't know, have you ever been to Smart and Final? I
Yes.
know you're like it's like a competitor or whatever.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's like-
I go everywhere.
So like they sell like the big like prime ribs and shit like that. Like you can get like sides of beef there.
Yeah, yeah. You can buy like actual entire ribeye, like actual full.
Yeah,
cut,
yeah, exactly. That's what
and
I'm
then do
talking
your
about.
own steaks.
Yep.
Well, I was gonna go through this one company, and I remember it was called it's not Omaha Steaks. It's another company that I went through.
I
Actually,
keep getting text messages from them. Yeah,
oh yeah, are you getting Texas? Okay,
from Omaha Steaks.
yeah. So I used to go through another company, and I bought them, and they were really good steaks. I was actually really impressed. I bought some fillets, little petite steaks, and then I also bought some ribeyes and New York strips, and I also got a T-bone from them, and they were really, really good. Great marbling, great flavor. It was good, and you can always tell from a higher quality of steak like the difference. You know, I can't at least. You know, I mean, I
Oh,
buy
for sure.
steaks for my work.
For
I
sure.
buy steaks, and I can make a good steak either way, in my opinion. I know I'm not very talented when it comes to cooking. Like I know what I need to do, way I like my steak. You know. I let the steak speak for itself. That's my theory. You know, I like make love to it, and that's how I make my
Yeah.
steaks, bro. That's it.
Yeah,
And-
you gotta let
and
you gotta let the meat
like
do
there's
its
a
thing.
process to it. You know.
Yeah, if
You have to let the meat
using
relax,
good
you
quality
have to-
beef will speak for itself.
Yeah, you know, and people can judge me all they want, man, but I eat my steak rare. I don't give a fuck. You know, that's just the way it is. But and I see some people eat it well done. I know I'm not throwing hate, but damn, man, that's how you
I am.
fuck up a good steak.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
just so shameful to do
just-
that to a steak.
You might as well just eat a burger at that point. Like, there's no
I'll eat
point
my burgers
in a well
fucking
done steak.
medium rare. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck, dude. I don't care.
I always order them like so, like especially with like the DoorDash era that we're in right now.
Oh, dude, that place, they're making money right now, dude.
Oh, God,
They're making my money. They're
fucking
taking my
hate
money. I
DoorDash.
fucking buy way too much DoorDash, dude. Fuck.
I don't like. They
know I
fucked
do.
me over way too many times.
No, Uber Eats. Uber Eats has been super consistent. I'll give them that.
You pay for that consistency. DoorDash and like Grubhub, like those motherfuckers, they will never get another dollar from me. Like both of those bastards have like spilled shit on my porch and fucking, you know, like there's always something missing. It's like basically the drive-through delivered to your house, and there's always like inconsistencies, and it just pisses me off. Like, if you want to be paid fairly, get my fucking order right. Like, I have no problem with like fast food people or, you know, whoever making $15 an hour, but not if you're gonna do a shitty job. Like, you got to do a good job to earn that paycheck.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Absolutely agree.
But yeah, no, what you're saying though, yeah,
Quality is quality. Man.
quality is important
Quality
because
is
you can
important.
taste the quality of meat.
Yeah.
No matter how it's cooked, no matter what spices you put on it,
I let the meat.
You're not going to camouflage shitty meat.
Have you dabbled in venison and shit like that, like gamey stuff and stuff like that? Or no?
Yeah. So I've done quail because
quail.
Buddy of mine did a quail hunt. So I've got quail. Like here in California, like hunting isn't as common, I don't think, just because of, there's not as many hunters here. But like when I lived down south, there was like quite a few people. Like when I was in the military, when I was in the military, I was in Florida. There was quite a few people that hunted down there, and they'd bring like
all kinds of cool shit,
and like wild boar and shit like that. And yeah, there's some pretty exotic stuff.
Yeah, I think I did. Well, venison I had before, very gamey. I didn't understand what gamey was until I had it. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, this is different. Like you don't
alligator
cook it.
When I was down there.
I had that too. I had alligator.
Yeah,
they had these
like the deep
ground up. They had it
bites.
ground up and they had it like in sausage form or whatever the fuck. And it was like, it obviously had a lot of mixture of stuff in there as well, but it was different. And I used to get like deep fried alligator.
Like little bites.
Bites, yeah. They were pretty good. I was impressed by that. I remember
little. They kind of taste a little swampy. But
there's a weird taste to them. I mean, they eat fucking shit in the swamp.
Like frog legs. You ever had frog legs?
Oh, I have, and it's such a weird thing. Like I remember when I had frog.
It tastes like chicken. No, it fucking doesn't taste like chicken.
You would never think it does, but there's only thing that's different about frog legs that I had when I was doing a job. I worked for a company. We did chemical cleaning in refineries, and I was in Marathon in Chicago. I think it was Chicago. Yeah, where was it? Yeah, Detroit. I was in fucking Detroit, and I was rooming with this guy who was from Louisiana. And he was like, "Yeah, hey man, you want to go? You want to get some fucking frog legs?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I remember this guy I was hanging out with, and he looked like fucking straight Mr. Clean, shaved, clean head. I'll never forget that. And he fucking had this deep Cajun head. Like, "Hey man, what are you doing over there?" Like he had this unique sound. I remember imitating him after being because we were rooming together for like almost a whole week. And he goes, "Hey man, you want to get some frog legs?" I was like, "Oh, frog legs? What the fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, let's get some frog legs." I was like, "Sure." He's like, "I got you, man." So he orders this shit, comes in, and it's deep fried.
This is in Chicago?
No, Detroit.
Oh, okay,
I got
Detroit.
it mixed up. It was Detroit. So we're there, and they had this place where they had it. So I said, "All right, fuck it." So I ordered it. Comes in, and literally, like you see the end of the fucking foot, and then it looks like just like a wing or tender or whatever, and you go to bite into it, and it's like, it tastes like chicken. But like it had the strands, these little strands in the meat, which were like the tendons or whatever the fuck it was. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird, but it tasted good. It wasn't bad. Yeah. I mean, the place probably got it from was pretty shitty quality, but we still thought it was good.
Yeah, like where are you gonna get like the
you're
top
not gonna,
quality
it's not
shit?
Perfect, but at the same time, it was still really, really fucking good, man. I was like, all right, I'm eating this.
Is there a quality scale of frog legs?
I don't know, man. Who knows, man? The South has some weird ass shit that goes out there. I mean, my God, you pretty much kill anything and fry it up and give it to you. I mean, have you had blood sausage yet?
I have not. I've avoided it actively.
Some people say it's really, really good, but
no, I can't.
You know how they make it? You ever seen how they make that?
Yeah,
shit? They fucking drain it, dude. I swear, it's the craziest.
Turns
shit.
like a Jello or something.
They cut it. No, they cut they drain the blood out because the first thing you do is you pull the blood out of the animal, and then what they have to do, they pour it into a bucket or bowl, and they actually have to consistently keep moving it with their hands because it'll actually clot. Yeah, it'll clot or whatever it'll solidify. So they have to keep moving it, and then they utilize it into making like the sausage, and then they use like parts of the intestine as a casing, and it's like, oh my God, dude, it looks utterly fucking disgusting, but apparently it's very good. I guess if you're from there, but I don't know. It looks
not
disgusting.
My thing.
I don't think I'd. I think I'd try it. I think I'd go for it. Fuck it.
I think like England made that kind of. Well, I'm sure it's been around for as long as we've been killing animals.
I mean, we've killing animals for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
We've been killing animals since we've
fucking
been
eating
humans.
bone marrow. Like, come on, we're eating everything. Like, we're the only country in the world that doesn't eat the whole animal. Like, we literally throw away.
Yeah, we've got some weird hang-ups when it comes to food here in America.
Throw away
like, very disconnected.
Shit.
And that's something that I've been concerned about with myself is just being like I could never like kill an animal myself, to be honest with you. Like I'm sure I could if I was like fucking starving or something like that, but like do I want to go kill a cow? No.
I don't think anybody
Jesus
does.
Christ, like
Nobody wants to do that.
That would be very traumatic.
Nobody wants to do that.
But I'll fuck up a burger. I'll fuck up a ribeye. Like, you know, like it's.
Yeah, but it's the same fucking. That's the whole thing. Is that
Yeah.
the appreciation of like. See, I shouldn't say the appreciation, but the understanding that that animal was killed for your ability for you to eat it. Like, you know, these guys. You're like, oh, what was it? The video I saw of this guy, of these animal activists or these as a vegetarian. I don't remember what it was. This guy. These guys are out front of his business protesting. You know, something. It's some kind of activist, some shit, and you know, which is no knock to them. You know, if you believe what you want to believe, I get it. No disrespect, but he's literally the guy who owns the business. Comes out on the in the window where the tables are and starts butchering a fucking like a full on beef like fillet. He butchers it in the window in front of them while they're protesting, and you're kind of like, I mean, fuck it. That's a pretty gangster move right there. Like, hey, guys, you know, I'm going to do what I want. And then they try to call the cops saying it's illegal. It's a health code violation for him to do that. But it was just like one of those moments I'm like, really? They're going to go that far? Come on, guys. Let it go.
Yeah.
It's like that joke that Joe does in one of his skits where he's like, yeah, I posted this picture of this deer I ate. And it was like he was about to join ISIS and this and that. And then I fucked it up and said #vegan. That's where I fucked up. I fucking did that. And then, you know, it's just so fucking crazy how the world works now where like you just do that one little thing and it just sets off a fucking chain reaction. And
Yeah.
we live in a world where we're all connected now. We all have a peace of mind. Somebody said it, I think someone said it brilliantly. They said, no, it's not that people got smarter. It's just the dumber ones have a voice now or some shit, you know? The ones who didn't, it's not that we got better or got more knowledgeable. It's just, you know, the individuals who are dumber now have a voice.
The dumb people, the dumb people can afford smartphones now.
Right. But hey, man, it's the world we live in, dude. It is the world we live in. But regardless, man, I'm happy with the fact that, you know, I'm happy with the fact that, like, yeah, there are some things wrong with what goes on in the world now. Obviously, the pandemic's really fucking a lot of shit up. You know, we're going through a lot right now. California is going to be California forever. There's no way. A lot of people are leaving California because of a lot of the shit that's going on with the pandemic. A lot of people are leaving California just because it's California, man. It's fucking hell expensive to live here. I love California. I don't know if I have plans to leave here, but I know it's somewhere that I like to live. I mean, fuck it. Until something drastically changes, I don't see myself being here forever. But I see myself dealing with the nonsense for now. It's really not that bad. But then
I just kind of locked myself into being here for a while because I bought a house.
I mean, I was gonna say you're locked in now. You got a home here. Like you probably paid a grip to get that home, or paid nothing when the market was crashed. That's what we need. It's something to crash.
No, man. So here's what happened. The market crashed, but that drove the price of houses up. What happens is as interest rates go down, the price of houses go up because people buy a payment, right? Like when you rent a place, it's the same thing as when you buy a place. Like how much you pay in a month, right? How much can you afford to pay a month? Right. So if I sell you $1 million house, but all you have to pay is $2,000 a month, are you going to buy it? Probably. Because it's $1 million house, right?
If you're going to be paying the same amount, I mean, fuck it.
Right.
Might as well.
But, you know, if I'm selling you a $400,000 house, you have to pay $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that shit, right?
I'm not going to do that, yeah.
So, I'm going to fuck this up, but, like, for every basis point the interest rates go down, prices of houses go up by $10,000, right? So, like, so my interest rate on my house, I think it's like a 3.3. Which is really, really good. Before the pandemic, that would have been like fucking epic. That would have been like, oh my God, dude, I got a 3.3. It's fucking incredible. But now it's not even that great. Like I kind of got locked in at a point where things were like in limbo a couple months ago, like in March. Like if I would have locked in like 3 weeks earlier, I would have been like a 2.7.
Oh Jesus.
So that affects the price per month you pay for your house like pretty like a lot. I forgot how many hundreds of dollars it is. It was a couple $100 a month that I'm paying extra just to have the same price on the house. But yeah, I bought my house for $507 or $508.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's nothing special. Like it's just a normal ass fucking house. It is, but like. The way I look at it is this: like, I figure it's going to go up in value. Hopefully, it will. and B, my payment is $2,700 a month, which I would be paying more in rent for the same place if I were to just rent a place, and that money would just be out the fucking window.
Truth.
And there's tax incentives to owning.
Right.
You know, you can write off a lot of things. Depreciation of the house, you write off, not financial advice, but there's a lot of things that are advantageous tax-wise to owning a home, whereas rent, you know, I rented for my whole life. I you know, up until March of this year, I've never fucking owned a house. But now I'm seeing that if you have the ability to buy a home, fucking do it, because, you know, there's...
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of in that like weird fuzzy realm where I'm like, you know, I'm really comfortable with living where I'm at now, and I like it. Hey, I like my little apartment. I love it, man. It's the shit. It helps me out. It gets me where I want to be. It
easy. Fulfills your needs.
It's simple. It's very fucking simple. And that's my whole thing. Is like I'm not gonna fuck up a good thing. I'm not gonna fucking change something.
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm not gonna worry about that.
Where I was living before, I was in an apartment as well, but I was on the 3rd floor, so I had to walk up fucking stairs every goddamn day. And to be honest, like the main reason, this sounds fucking stupid, and I'm a douchebag for this, but the main reason I bought a house is because my dog is getting really old. He's having trouble making up at the fucking stairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you care. Care about your dogs.
Yeah, I'm pretty soft-hearted about that.
I care about my dogs, okay?
Yeah.
My dog. I love my dog.
Yeah.
She's a fucking handful, but I love my dog. So I get it.
She's a mess, but she's your mess.
Ain't that the fucking truth, dude?
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
So you need to own a farm, though, man. She needs to go out there.
I would love. Dude, we were making that joke earlier about how we need to get like some fucking little guinea pigs, or
yeah, she needs something to herd.
Let her fucking herd guinea pigs in my living room. Like that'd be hilarious. Oh my god, that would be like the best fucking 10-second video of her just herding a group of fucking guinea pigs throughout my house. It'd be fucking hilarious to see that. Oh my god, it'd be great. But anywho, man, yeah, dude, we've been at this for an hour and a half, dude. Fucking A, dude. It did. Dude, I have so much fun when you come over, man. It's always been a pleasure hanging out with you. I really enjoy our conversations, whether it be about beef or UFC or whatever may come to pass.
I can keep going about beef, man.
I like the insights you gave me about you know, CRISPR and that kind of stuff. That stuff's awesome. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. This has been the Derek and Friends podcast. I'm Derek. Bucky, thank you for coming out, dude. I appreciate you guys. Right on, Make sure you guys shoot me a subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a good night.
Like, comment, subscribe.